Bryson Tiller's latest classic, Solace and the Vices. And I got to tell you right up off the jump, this project is something special. So let me recap real quick. Bryson Tiller burst onto the scene back in 2015 with Don't, and that track literally changed the game. He basically created his own lane with this trap soul sound. He basically remixed moody R&B um, vibes with hip hop beats, adding some soul to it, sprinkle of soul on that bit. Fast forward now, you got Penn Griffey dropping ambitious double albums like we just got with this joint here, Solace and the Vices. Um, uh, Here's what's interesting about the rollout is that he first dropped the Vices back in October, so it's a double album. He dropped the first part back in August, and that one is more high energy. It's rap heavy, and then he dropped Solace in October, which is more introspective and more R&B. But then eventually it he released it as one cohesive project called Solace and Devices. Now the sequencing is suspicious. I think that it might have something to do with maybe gaming the algorithm. A lot of these artists are doing things like these little tricks they do now. I usually do not like long albums because a lot of these artists have been doing it for the sake of being long, so that they can get more spins, and their songs are always like a minute and a half, 2 minutes max. But this seems to be a intentional project the way that Tiller put this together. Like granted, none of these songs are longer than 3 minutes, so they're still pretty short. He's got one track that's 3 minutes and 25 seconds, another one that's 3 minutes, another he's got a couple of songs that's over 3 minutes. And so these songs are still pretty short. They're doing a lot to like game the algorithm so they could get spins. But I think he still threw us a bone by making it thematically on point the way he did with like, the first part has these styles and these types of songs and the second part has these other kind of songs on it. So it's kind of like releasing back to back albums, which I appreciate. And then he puts it all together in one thing. And he stays on brand, he stays on the theme as he does. So I'll forgive it. But generally, some artists will give you like a 21 or 26 track album that's like, it's not cohesive. It's just a bunch of stuff that they slap together that they might have recorded at, you know, sometime within the past 2 years, and it makes no sense together. Um, and and they just feed you the slop and we just swallow it, whatever, right? So um I appreciate him at least having some kind of plan on this, and whether or not it also favors the algorithm, maybe just happen be a lucky happenstance on that note. In terms of the production on this thing, it builds intricate soundscapes through carefully constructed layers, these hazy atmospheric scents that establish the mood, while crisp trap drums provide gritty contrast. Tiller did some of the production on this thing himself. It they crafted these complex arrangements that transcend basic, you know, beat and vocal structures, creating immersive sonic environments that feel both spacious and grounded. The sample work on here flips old school R&B and soul in innovative ways that avoid mere nostalgia, pairing familiar warmth with forward-thinking production techniques. I'm thinking of a track like Strife, not Strife. What's this one? Like 200 Bands, which has Plies and T Pain on there. Plies and T Pain. Think of when last time you heard. Well, not just last time you heard these, because T Pain still be working and stuff. But like these are sounds that are like ubiquitous with the mid 2000s. These names that they were hits after hits that were just like these radio spins that they were getting. They were just a bunch of singles. You may not remember you know a full complete body of work from them, but you know they were on just the way SZA's name is in heavy rotation right now. Plies was on everything. T-Pain was on everything, featured on everything. Has his own projects, but also everybody wanted a T-Pain feature. And so for him to like tap to those two guys, he's got Rick Ross on one of these projects, right? So there's a lot of like these elder statesmen, elder voices that are Bun B is on this joint, right? That are featured on this thing. So I love the way that he's able to add his new sound and not that he's making a new sound, but like his curated new sound in terms of like the trap soul kind of thing. And shout out to his first album. Um, in in bringing in these other voices that lean more into that, but also still pushing the genre forward. So appreciate him in the craft there. One of the tracks that I definitely recommend checking out. The which track is this one? The opening track Strife. This is the opener. It's more of a mission statement, if anything. It's moody, it's heavy, it's reflective atmospherically. It sets the temperature and lays out his internal conflict, building the emotional weight um, that the rest of the album rests on. And by rest of the album, I mean that part, right? Remember, it's a two-parter. So that part, right? Workaholic is also on that part of the project. On this one, Bryson Tiller is he's coming across pretty vulnerable on this particular track. Quietly, he sounds a little bit like he's exhausted. He's self-aware, but it's melodic and he's like very reflective. Um, it feels like you're just trying to unload into your diary maybe at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're up, you can't sleep, whatever it is, and like um and it's the emotional core, I would say, probably for the Solace side of the double album. He says here, um I was scared. What do he says? I was scared of going broke in 21-8. That was after all the money and the fame. Going back to how it was, the shift, the shit'll be a shame. Let me explain. I've been texting, calling. You know you've been thinking, solving all night. I've been sinking, falling, down here deep and calling out, talking it back, taking it back to the year. Think you was like 21, candle blowing, big yacht charter, thinking I spent like 21, scared of the bank when they gonna take that from me. Still, I put up a front, scared of my thoughts, looking at my plaques like, damn, I guess I'm one and done. That's that. That's that. What you're faking it till you make it, but then you make it, and then it's like, yo, am I doing too much? Right? Am I doing too much? And you realize, I gotta keep up the pretense. I gotta keep doing the stuff, but then I'm scared of the bank. He's like, I'm scared of the bank. I gotta keep up doing these things because this is the image I portray. Very reflective. Letting us behind the curtain there, so I appreciate that. 200 bands I mentioned before. Plies T-Pain on this joint. It's a perfect collision of eras. Um, Plies is on this track, bringing the gritty, what I mean, a little bit more heavier hip hop rap kind of thing, while T Pain is bringing the nostalgia, the melodic undertone under it all. He actually does the hook on this thing. Bryson threads it all together with his modern finesse. It's a whole moment that happens on this project. The main takeaway is that this is the type of project that is more of a soundtrack that fits perfectly during if you're on one of these 1 a.m. missions. I don't know exactly what you were up to at 1 a.m. in the morning, but you put this song on and you put this project on, either the Solid side, pick carefully, or the Vices side. If you're up at 1 a.m., you need a soundtrack. Choose wisely.